Over the past couple of years, Borussia Dortmund has been spawning talents left, right and center. And out of all of their talented youngsters that they have brought through, either through the academy or buying them for cheap to develop at Dortmund, while despite being a German club, two of their better talents recently have been English players. Obviously, there was Jadon Sancho and now their crown jewel in Jude Bellingham. Jude, who was bought by Dortmund from Birmingham City for £25 million and then later sold on by Dortmund to Real Madrid just 3 seasons later for £100 million. Borussia Dortmund seemingly have a new English youngster on the scene that could emulate Jadon Sancho or even Jude Bellingham, and this English talent has been at Dortmund since 2020, but is finally seeming to come good for the club this season. So just what makes Jaime Gittens so special? Is he the next English superstar from Dortmund? Well, that's what we'll be talking about today. So what's going on, everyone? You are listening to Back of the Net here. I hope you're all doing well. Please be sure to like the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and let's get into it. Jamie Bynoe-Gittens, who now just goes as Jamie Gittens, was born in London on August 8th, 2004. Jamie's love for football was evident from an early age, and like many young kids growing up in England, he was quickly drawn to the game and started playing for Caversham Trent when he was just 5 years old. From Caversham Trent, he moved to Reading, where he joined their academy at just the age of 7 years old. He then spent time at Chelsea too, but at the under-9 level, he decided to stick with Reading. His performances at Reading did not go unnoticed, and at age 14 years old, Jamie made a huge move to Manchester City to join their youth setup. But the environment at City, with all its talents and the competition that they had, it was difficult for Jamie to stake his claim in the academy and for him to see a pathway to the first team. So after 2 years at Manchester, age 16 years old, despite the opportunities that City could potentially offer, Jamie followed in the footsteps of fellow City Academy product in Jadon Sancho, and he packed up his bags and moved to Germany to join Borussia Dortmund. It wasn't an easy transition at all for the Englishman. The pandemic, of course, made everything harder for Jamie, and on top of that, he had an unfortunate torn ligament injury that kept him off the pitch for months, only managing to play 2 games at the under-19 Bundesliga level in his first season in Germany. But despite this rough start in Germany, the following season, Jamie showed tons of promise, playing in 22 games for Dortmund's youth team, as well as scoring an extremely impressive 6 goals in 5 games in the UEFA Youth League from the wing position, and making 4 appearances that same season for the senior team at just the age of 17 years old. He was so impressive in his first full season with the academy that the following season, Jamie would become a full-time first-team member of the squad, playing in 20 games for Dortmund at just the age of 18 years old, and even getting 3 goals and 1 assist in the league. Again, showing huge promise with some really impressive performances, even though most of those performances came off the bench. At the age of 18 years old, to play 20 games for Dortmund, scoring 3 goals and getting 1 assist, that is very impressive stats. So last season, the versatile winger got yet even more game time for Dortmund, playing 34 games for the club and had some really good performances, but kind of struggled with output for Dortmund, scoring just 2 goals, but I mean, he also did manage to get 8 assists. One of those goals that he did score was in a hugely impressive display in a 3-1 win over AC Milan in the UEFA Champions League group stage. So to some, this was a good season, while others saw it as rather disappointing, being that he was 19 years old now, and that was so much more game time for Dortmund. His output didn't take the jump, at least goal scoring wise, like you would have expected with the amount of game time that he got. Of course, growth and developments in anything, including football, is not linear, but people with the amount of game time given to him, people still expected maybe a little bit more out of him last season. But to start this season, Jamie looks like a man possessed. In just 5 games so far this season for Dortmund, Jamie has already got a career high 4 goals, including a brace in the Champions League. He came off the bench in matchday 1 of the Bundesliga against Frankfurt, and within 31 minutes got 2 goals to see Dortmund get a 2-0 win against Frankfurt. But then he did admittedly follow that up with some rather bleak performances, one against Werder Bremen and Heidenheim. He has since scored another brace after coming off the bench again, this time in the UEFA Champions League against Club Brugge, to hand Borussia Dortmund a 3-0 win against the Belgian outfit. Gittens' standout quality in my eyes is undoubtedly his dribbling. With a remarkable 97th percentile for successful take-ons, he's one of the best in his age group at beating defenders one-on-one. He averages 3.47 successful dribbles per 90, which makes him a consistent threat on the wings. His progressive carrying is equally equally impressive, ranking in the 92nd percentile with 5.82 progressive carries per 90. He's a player who thrives when driving forward with the ball, helping Dortmund transition quickly from defense to attack, and he's constantly putting opposition fullbacks on the back foot. When it comes to chance creation, while Gittens shows plenty of promise in that area as well. He ranks in the 74th percentile for assists with 0.26 per 90, and his expected assisted goals per 90 is 0.20, placing him in the middle of the pack in terms of setting his teammates up. His shot creating actions are solid as well with 4.06 per 90, showing he has the ability to spark attacking moves regularly. However, his passing stats do show room for improvement. He ranks in just the 18th percentile for passes attempted, and his progressive passing is particularly low at just 2.22 per 90. That is the 9th percentile. For someone playing as a winger who often finds himself in advanced positions, he'll need to work on delivering more effective balls into the final third. And I know after his 4 goals in 5 games, this may sound extremely bizarre to hear from me, but one area I think he really does need to improve on overall in his career is his finishing. Despite being in the 89th percentile for non-penalty goals, his non-penalty expected goals sits at just the 53rd percentile. This suggests that while yes, he is scoring here and there, he's not converting as many chances as he could have done, especially last season, meaning that there's a lot of room for him to improve to become more clinical in front of goal. Also, his off the ball work may need some attention, particularly defensively, where he ranks low in all areas like interceptions, where he's in the 42nd percentile, in blocks he's in the 49th percentile, and additionally he gets dispossessed more than you would like, but that is to be expected from a young winger who's always looking to take on players. Look, overall Jaime Gittens is a raw but incredibly talented winger who excels in taking on players and progressing the ball through dribbling. His creativity and his pace makes him an extremely valuable asset for Dortmund, but to truly unlock the potential that is clear for everyone to see, he will need to improve in a couple areas, mainly his passing. I think if he can improve his finishing or keep his finishing like it is right now, but above all else, the main thing that kind of worries me about Gittens is his consistency. He will have matches where he is borderline unplayable. I mean, you look at that Frankfurt performance, the Club Brugge performance, he was just outstanding, but you look at the games in between and he was very bleak, very average, very quiet, and easy for defenses to control him. He is young, so consistency issues is something that a lot of youngsters deal with, but you would like to see an improvement in that area and maybe an improvement in his finishing and passing, and you just gotta hope that his performances against Club Brugge and Frankfurt isn't just him catching lightning in a bottle and it's actually a sign of things to come, because if that's the case, you could very well be looking at the next Jadon Sancho, the next Jude Bellingham. When I say Jadon Sancho, I mean the Jadon Sancho from Dortmund, not the Manchester United one. You get what I'm saying. And if he is to become the star that I think he could become, consistency is key to that, and we are hoping that this isn't lightning in a bottle. Anyways, Gittens looks very promising, and I hope to see him continue this form